Why did my husband change after my sister moved? The day my husband stopped looking at me the same way, I felt it in my bones. He didn't say anything cruel, didn't shout or withdraw in a dramatic gesture, but his eyes no longer lingered on mine. They passed over me like I was a fixture in the room, no longer his wife. It was a subtle shift, like the slow cooling of summer into fall, barely perceptible at first, and it began the exact day my sister moved into our home. Ellie had always been the wild one, the pretty one, the magnetic storm that pulled people into her orbit. We were 6 years apart, but she'd somehow always been ahead of me in life. Emotionally, socially, even when it came to love, I used to think of her as my other half, but that trust would be tested in ways I never imagined. My husband, Daniel, had been my rock for 7 years. We weren't perfect, who is? But we had the kind of easy companionship that made people envy us at dinner parties. I'd find his coffee cup on the counter in the morning, always clean and waiting for the next brew, and somehow it made me feel loved. It's the little things that bind a marriage. And it's the little things that unravel it. At first, it seemed harmless. Ellie needed a place to crash. Her relationship had imploded. Something about cheating and betrayal, the details were fuzzy and painful. She showed up at our door with mascara, streaked cheeks, and a single suitcase, her voice trembling with shame. Of course, I said yes. She stayed in the guest room and I did what any good sister would do. I brought her tea, gave her space, and let her vent. Daniel was supportive, offering her the same calm reassurance he gave me during our rough patches. He even cooked her favorite meals, and I thought, how lucky am I to have a husband who treats my family like his own? But then I noticed him pausing longer when she entered the room. Not just pausing, watching. There was a softness in his gaze I hadn't seen directed at me in months. She would laugh at something he said, and he'd laugh back a little too long. I tried to brush it off as paranoia. After all, she was beautiful, but she was my sister. He would never, right? Then came the night I walked into the kitchen and found them standing a bit too close. They jumped apart like teenagers caught sneaking a kiss, and I forced a laugh, pretending not to notice. My heart, however, started pounding in a way it hadn't since high school heartbreaks. Daniel reassured me. You're imagining things, he said. You're just tired. She's your sister. Don't be ridiculous. But it was there, under the surface. The way her robe seemed shorter each evening, the way his hand lingered when he handed her a cup of coffee, the inside jokes that didn't include me. And slowly, a distance began to grow between Daniel and me. Fewer conversations, less laughter, a colder bed. It wasn't just jealousy, it was grief. I was losing two people at once. My husband and my sister, and they were both right in front of me, pretending nothing was happening. And so I started watching. Carefully, quietly. I didn't want to be the crazy wife. I didn't want to be the bitter sister. But I had to know, I had to be sure. Because something in me had already broken, and I wasn't sure if it could ever be put back together. Ellie showed up on a rainy Tuesday evening, soaked and shaking like a leaf. Her mascara had run in twin trails down her cheeks, and her suitcase, a small frayed roller bag, looked like it had been packed in a rush. I opened the door, stunned. I hadn't seen her in almost a year, and she hadn't warned me she was coming. She fell into my arms without a word, her body trembling. I wrapped her in a towel and ushered her inside, calling for Daniel, who appeared from the kitchen, drying his hands on a dish towel. He gave her a sympathetic smile, a glance I thought nothing of at the time, and helped me get her settled. Ellie had just broken up with her boyfriend, Luke, a long, dramatic relationship that had always seemed more toxic than tender.